Hello, everyone. Let me ask you something important. When something goes wrong in your day, what do you do first? Do you react immediately? Do you raise your voice? Do you send the angry message before thinking? Most people do. And that is exactly why most people feel out of control. Not because bad things happen to them, but because they have never learned to choose their response. Because reaction is not power. Reaction is surrender. Today, I want to talk about something that changes everything. The quiet habit that the most powerful, most respected, most admired people share. Calm. Not the calm of someone who does not care. The calm of someone who has decided never to be controlled by anything outside themselves. This is quiet control. And once you understand it, you will never see people the same way again. You will notice who has it and who does not. You will understand why some people always seem to be in control, even when everything around them is difficult. Stay with me until the end. Because this one quality, this one decision to stay calm, can change the way you communicate, the way you are perceived, and the way your English sounds to the world. Part 1. The room always feels the calm person. Walk into any room. Notice who speaks the most. Notice who speaks the least. The person speaking the most is usually the most anxious, the most desperate to be heard, the most afraid of being ignored. The calm person does not need to fill the silence. They are comfortable in it. And that comfort changes how everyone else in the room feels. Without saying a single word, a calm person shifts the energy around them. People lean toward calm people without knowing why. They trust them. They listen to them more carefully. They follow them more naturally. Because calm is not just a feeling. Calm is a signal. It signals safety. It signals wisdom. It signals power. The calm person is the one the room turns to when things become difficult. Not the loudest. Not the most confident. The calmest. And here is the truth most people miss. Calm is not something you are born with. Calm is something you train. Every single day, in every small moment, you are either training reaction or training calm. The choice is yours. Part 2. Reaction is the enemy of control. Think about the last time you reacted badly. You said something you did not mean. You sent a message too quickly. You made a decision from emotion that you later regretted. How did you feel afterward? Weak. Embarrassed. Out of control. That is what reaction does. It borrows your power and gives it to the thing that provoked you. When you react, you are saying, I am not in charge here. My emotions are. And here is the hard truth. Every time you react, you teach the people around you how to control you. They learn that certain words, certain situations, certain tones of voice will make you lose your composure. And they will use that knowledge, consciously or not. But when you pause, breathe, and respond with intention, you are saying something very different. You are saying, nothing outside me controls me. That is a level of power most people never reach. Not because it is impossible, but because it requires practice. Calm is not the absence of emotion. Calm is the decision to lead your emotion instead of follow it. Read that again. Because that one sentence contains everything you need to understand about quiet control. Part 3. Why calm people speak better English. Now let us connect this to your English. Many learners freeze when speaking. Not because they do not know the words, but because they react to their own fear before they even open their mouth. They hear silence in the conversation and immediately panic. They make a small mistake and immediately lose all confidence. They feel watched and immediately forget everything they studied. This is reaction. And reaction destroys fluency faster than any grammar mistake ever could. But a calm learner does something different. When they forget a word, they pause. They breathe. They find another way to express the same idea. When they make a mistake, they continue. Calmly. Without drama. Without apology. When they feel nervous, they slow down instead of rushing. They give their brain the space it needs to find the right words. Because a calm brain finds language more easily. A calm brain connects ideas more naturally. A calm brain sounds more confident, even when it does not feel perfect. Calm learners do not speak faster. They speak better. Because fluency is not speed. Fluency is calm in motion. And that calm is something you can train every single day, in every English conversation you have. Part 4. The quiet power of the pause. Here is one of the most powerful tools that calm people use. The pause. Before answering a question, they pause. Before reacting to a problem, they pause. Before speaking in English, they pause. That one moment changes everything. Most people think pausing looks weak. They think fast speakers sound more intelligent, more confident, more fluent. But they are completely wrong. Think about the leaders, teachers, and communicators you respect most. Do they rush their words? Or do they choose them carefully? The pause is not hesitation. The pause is mastery. It is the moment between stimulus and response where your intelligence lives. It is the space where you choose your words instead of letting them choose you. In English, a natural pause communicates something powerful to the listener. It says, "I am thinking about what I want to say." And thinking is one of the most attractive qualities a communicator can have. It shows respect for the conversation. So practice the pause. Not a long, uncomfortable silence. Just one breath. One moment of stillness before you speak. Over time, that pause becomes your most powerful communication habit. In English and in every language you speak. Part 5. How calm people handle conflict. Conflict is where control is either won or lost. Most people enter conflict at the same emotional level as the other person. Someone is angry, so they become angry. Someone raises their voice, so they raise their voice. Someone attacks, so they attack back. This feels natural. It feels like self-defense. But it is actually surrender. Because when you match the emotional energy of conflict, you lose your ability to think clearly. And without clear thinking, you cannot solve anything. Calm people do something different. They do not match the energy of anger. They lower it. Not by giving in or pretending the problem does not exist, but by staying grounded while everything around them is moving. That groundedness changes the entire conversation. The other person, feeling the pull of the calm, often slows down too. The emotional temperature drops. And what was a conflict becomes a dialogue. This is not weakness. This is the highest form of communication. And in English, this is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. The ability to stay clear, calm, and articulate even when a conversation becomes emotionally challenging. That skill will serve you in every relationship, every workplace, every situation of your life. Part 6. Building your quiet control. So how do you actually build this quality? It starts before any difficult moment arrives. It starts in the ordinary, quiet moments of your day. Because calm is not something you find when you need it. Calm is something you build before you need it. Start with your mornings. Before any noise enters your day, give yourself 5 minutes of silence. No phone. No news. No conversation. Just sit with yourself and breathe. This small practice trains your nervous system to return to calm more easily throughout the day. Next, practice the 3-second rule. When you feel the urge to react, count 3 seconds first. 1, 2, 3. In those 3 seconds, Ask yourself, is my reaction going to help this situation or make it worse? That question alone will change your behavior. For your English practice, apply the same principle. When you feel nervous before speaking, pause. Take one breath. Remind yourself that imperfect English spoken calmly is always more powerful than perfect English spoken in panic. And finally, notice your body. Calm is physical before it is mental. Relax your jaw. Lower your shoulders. Breathe from your stomach. When your body is calm, your mind follows. And when your mind is calm, your English flows. Part 7. The language of calm. Here is something most people never consider. The way you speak communicates more than your words. Your pace, your tone, your pauses, your breathing. All of these things send a message before your words even arrive. Fast, rushed speech communicates anxiety. Loud, forceful speech communicates insecurity. Interrupted speech, where you change direction mid-sentence, communicates confusion. But slow, deliberate, calm speech communicates something completely different. It communicates confidence. It communicates intelligence. It communicates that you have something worth saying and you are not in a hurry to say it. This is the language of calm. And it is available to you right now, in your English, regardless of your level. You do not need perfect grammar to sound calm. You do not need advanced vocabulary to speak with presence. You need to slow down. You need to breathe. You need to give each word the space it deserves. When you do this, something remarkable happens. People listen more carefully. They interrupt less. They respond more thoughtfully. Because your calm creates a space for real communication to happen. That is the true power of speaking slowly and clearly in English. Part 8. Calm and your identity. Here is something important. The way you see yourself affects the way you behave. If you see yourself as someone who gets nervous, who reacts, who loses control under pressure, your brain will work to confirm that identity. It will find every piece of evidence that the story is true. But if you begin to see yourself differently, your behavior will follow. Not as someone who is naturally calm, but as someone who is learning to be calm. Someone who chooses their response. Someone who practices stillness every day. This identity shift is not about pretending. It is about choosing the most accurate, most empowering version of your story. Because the truth is, calm is available to anyone. It is not a personality trait. It is a practice. And for your English, this identity shift is just as important. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who is bad at speaking English, begin to see yourself as someone who speaks English calmly and improves every day. That story will guide your behavior in ways you cannot yet imagine. Part 9. Quiet control is attractive. Here is something most people do not expect. Calm people are deeply attractive. Not in a loud, obvious way. In the way that makes people want to be near them, to talk to them, to trust them. Because calm people make you feel safe. When you are around someone who never overreacts, never creates unnecessary drama, never makes every small thing into a crisis, you relax. You open up. You feel free to be yourself. That is the invisible power of calm. It creates connection without effort. It builds trust without demands. And in English conversation, this is exactly how you make people feel comfortable speaking with you. Not by being perfect. Not by speaking fast. But by being present, relaxed, and calm. Think about the English speakers you most enjoy talking to. Are they the most grammatically perfect? Or are they the ones who make you feel heard, comfortable, and at ease? Calm creates that feeling. And you can create it too. Part 10. From reaction to response. Let us end with a practical commitment. From today, I want you to practice one thing. Before you speak in English, pause. Just one breath. One moment of calm before the words come. Not because your English is not good enough. Not because you need to prepare the perfect sentence. But because that pause is where your power lives. That pause is where reaction ends and response begins. Every time you choose response over reaction, you are training your brain. You are building the neural pathway of calm. And over time, that pathway becomes the one your brain chooses automatically. Start small. One conversation. One breath. One pause. Then do it again tomorrow. And the day after that. Because calm is not built in a single moment. It is built in 1,000 small moments where you choose stillness over reaction. Final message. The world is becoming louder every day. More noise. More reaction. More urgency. And in that noise, the calm person stands out. Not because they are trying to be different, but because they have learned something most people never learn. The loudest person in the room is not the most powerful. The calmest person in the room is. And that calm is not passive. It is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength available to a human being. So from today, choose calm. In your conversations. In your conflicts. In your English practice. In your daily life. Not because it is easy. Because it is the most powerful decision you will ever make. And remember this. You cannot control everything that happens to you. But you can always control how you respond to it. That one decision, practiced every day, will change everything. Now I want you to write one sentence in the comments. In English. Tell me about a time you stayed calm when everything around you was difficult. One sentence. Simple English. Your real story. If this video helped you, subscribe to Gentle Wisdom. And remember, the quieter you become, the more powerful you are. See you in the next video.